We continue to track a News 5 alert tonight on News 5 at 6. An active shooter situation unfolding on Vickers and Union in Colorado Springs. Police have that area locked down, a closed perimeter around Downhill, Tuckerman, Vickers and Union. Folks in that area told to shelter in place, lock your doors, stay away from windows as police try to negotiate with an armed suspect.
Let's check in once again with Laura Wilson, who is live right at that intersection of Vickers and Union. Laura?
Yeah, well, right behind the camera, we still have the regional explosive unit. Now, we're just not seeing a lot of changes on scene. That's not to say that there are not things going on here or that people are not in action where this active shooter is, but from where we're standing, we have not seen a lot of movement. What we are seeing up in the area we're at are a lot of people clearing out. When we first got here, there must have been close to 30 people watching. Some of them weren't exactly sure how to get home, and police have come in. They've sort of taken care of that. Anyone who needs to get home but can't is being moved to a safe area. Most business owners and staff, they are allowed to go home. They're not on lockdown anymore. So while this area has been cleared, it is not recommended that you come here to watch this. Now, as far as, again, what is going on down here, we've seen several police officers, and they're just outside this apartment building. They've been there for some time now. We have not gotten any sort of update on what's happening in this area. Like I said, we're monitoring it very closely, and the second we see a change, we will come back out live and give you the very latest. Rob, Elizabeth, back to you.
All right, Laura, thank you. And again, as we learned from Lena Howland, who spoke with a public information officer about a half hour ago, apparently this started as some kind of domestic disturbance in that area. Shots fired, that alert went out to shelter in place. Reverse 911 went out to local businesses as well as folks who live in that area. The Lindmar area there just down the street also evacuated.
Police stressing that no civilians nor any police officers have been injured. So that's good news. Let's get to Andy Cohen with a closer look at where this is happening in Colorado Springs. Andy.
Yeah, Elizabeth, we want to give you some perspective. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the map full and show you. This is the map of Colorado Springs. This neighborhood is kind of on the north central.
Andy, we're going to take it real quick from you. We're having a microphone issue, and we'll get right back to you as soon as we can.
Now, again, we just want to give you a general idea that police response started right around 4 o'clock this afternoon in that area of Vickers and Union. So we're all set to go here, and we can check back in with Mr. Cohen. Andy?
Yep. So I was saying, you guys, this is on the kind of north central part of Colorado Springs. If you know where the East Library is off of Union Boulevard, that's a good point of reference to kind of tell you where we're looking at. Here's the East Library right here on the map. I did have a chance to talk to the library district. They said their security staff, they were in touch with the police. They didn't have to do a lockdown because they're just south of this area that they have cordoned off right now as a perimeter. Now, you saw that live report from Laura Wilson. She's here kind of where these Lindmar apartments are, right on this southeast corner of that area. I also had a chance to kind of look over at our traffic maps with Mike Daniels, and so Vickers right now is pretty slow in basically all directions. So if you're watching us and you need to get out, you're probably going to want to go over onto Academy or up to Dublin on the north side of things. But it's going to be slow going in those areas, so it's probably best just to avoid it. But that gives you a better sense of the area that we are talking about here. A lot of this is residential neighborhoods, but again, it seems like most of that police activity concentrated on this southeast corner over here where the apartment homes are. And so that's the information that we have from the police at this point. We're, of course, going to continue following what's going on with it. And if we get new information, if this perimeter gets evacuated, we'll let you know about that. At this point, it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like everybody's been told to shelter in place, stay away from windows and doors. And by the way, they are looking for a suspect, a white man about 6 foot tall. He was said to have a gray hoodie. Rob, I think you have a little bit more information about that suspect's description.
Yeah, 6 feet tall, white man, gray hoodie, blue jeans. 30s years old. And just to pick up on what Andy was saying, and we heard from Laura Wilson, that initially, obviously, the concentration of people working and living in that area, they didn't want anybody moving out because of that shelter-in-place order. But some of those people in that perimeter beyond Vickers and Union are being allowed to move away if they can find a way to get out of that area without having to cross onto Vickers or North Union. Again, there's a live look at that scene right now. So again, they're trying to disperse people as they can after that initial call to just everybody just remain in place. That is still the case for that perimeter that Andy told you about, but again, for that particular complex, obviously everything seems to be concentrated there, and presumably some kind of negotiation is going on right now. Our Laura Wilson heard a shot of some sort about 45 minutes ago. We weren't sure if that was from a weapon or from a concussion grenade or that sort that law enforcement uses. But again, there hasn't been a lot of movement on the exterior at this area, but the public information officer for Springs Police told us about 45 minutes ago also that a lot of activity is going on inside, and our Laura Wilson had heard that obviously they're bringing in a negotiator of some sort. We're not sure exactly the location of this person they're looking for in that complex.
And again, Springs Police are on priority dispatch status at this hour. For emergencies, you can call 911, of course, but if you have a non-emergency situation you need to report, you're asked to just wait until this situation has resolved to give police a call. Yeah,
they obviously say their priority now is to locate this person, bring them into custody so they can release folks in that area. But again, we haven't heard in the last hour, basically, anything new as far as what the situation or the circumstances are with this person. Again, that initial call came in some kind of domestic disturbance and then apparently escalated from there.
Right, and they heard witnesses reported gunshots. Again, no officers injured, no civilians injured, according to Springs Police at this hour. And they say preliminary information, shots were fired at police officers, but we're still waiting for them to give us more details of exactly what's unfolding as they work to negotiate with this suspected gunman in the area of Vickers and Union.
And we've seen many of these cases before in the past in many communities, and you know, the reality is that some of these can go on for hours and hours. And again, we're trying to figure out exactly at what point police, if they in fact have located where this suspect might be, what type of strategy they're going to use. And if you want to come back here, obviously our live shot went away there. But anyway, these are these circumstances where these informed negotiators, they are trained to talk these people down and try and end these situations with peaceful circumstances.
We want to get to the area of Tuckerman and Vickers now, another one of the roadblocks in that closed down perimeter. News 5's Eric Ross, he has arrived there in that scene. Eric, what's happening out there where you are?
Good evening. We are at Tuckerman and Vickers. This is just one part of a large perimeter here. To give you an idea of exactly where I'm standing, I'm about a quarter mile away from North Academy in Vickers. And as you can see right here off to the side, police still have this intersection blocked off. So if you try to come down Vickers like you're heading towards Union, it is going to be completely shut down. I know, folks, it is in the middle of rush hour traffic at 6 o'clock this evening. However, police are not going to allow you to go through this area at this point in time. One thing to keep in mind, this is a highly populated area. There's a lot of commercial businesses. There's a lot of strip centers in the area. What you're looking down is a neighborhood street. So there's a lot of businesses, but there's also a lot of homes here. So if you have to get home and you live near Vickers and Tuckerman, you may want to hold off at least for the next hour or so as police assess this situation. I know we've been feeding you information throughout the evening on all social platforms, Twitter and Facebook, but just to recap things, police responded to a domestic violence incident at some point earlier this evening. Shots were fired. Police have not indicated whether police returned fire or whether the suspect was firing at officers. We are still working to get that information, but at some point shots were fired, and that is why there is such a large perimeter set up here. Now keep in mind we're only about an hour and a half into this investigation, so it is in its very early stages, but I promise you folks, as soon as we get the latest information, I will be pushing it for you live on air as well as on Facebook and Twitter. But again, Tuckerman near Vickers, which is just off North Academy, blocked off. It will be blocked off for quite some time now, and as soon as that reopens for you, I know people are trying to make their evening commute home, but as soon as it gets reopened, I promise I will let you guys know. For now, reporting live, I'm Eric Ross, News 5.